The assault begins. Russian forces are deployed on a mission. Massive column, which includes latest tanks and BMPs, drives in Ukrainian city. Ukrainian Mavic drone is observing the area. Meanwhile, a group of Ukrainian drone operators prepare FPV drones to stop the attack. They attach the explosives, and after the secret message for the Russians is written, the drone goes up in the sky. Precise strike on Russian tank. First one is destroyed. Ukrainian soldiers deploy more FPV drones to strike Russian armored vehicles. A direct hit on Russian tank, but it remains on the move. Meanwhile, more drone units join the battle and strike the head tank of the column. The tank is heavily protected by additional armor plates and anti-drone nets, a hard target to destroy. But Ukrainian drones keep striking the tank, one after another. With each strike from Ukrainian drones, Russian tank loses a piece of its armor. And after multiple strikes, the outcome is always the same. But the assault was far from over. Russian column was closing in on Ukrainian positions. Ukrainian drone operators kept striking, and then this happened. FPV drone strikes Russian tank, which results in massive detonation, but just few seconds later, another tank also explodes, sending turret flying in the sky. Meanwhile, the last remaining vehicle is heavily damaged. Crew leaves it and flees. FPV drones are sent to finish off a Russian BMP. Drones strike in the open hatch, finishing off the abandoned BMP. As the result, Russian assault ended as a total failure. Ukrainian drones left them no chance to advance. Russian commanders send their newest BMP-3 to take Ukrainian positions. Meanwhile, Ukrainian Mavic drone is witnessing the assault in real time. Russians pass the minefield and drive to Ukrainian positions. The information is reported to the soldiers on the ground, and they use a javelin to strike Russian BMP. Javelin strikes the top off the turret, causing massive damage. The crew quickly jumps off burning BMP and runs away. But when Ukrainian Mavic drone flies closer, it witnesses a devastating sight. One of the Russian crewmen was abandoned in the burning BMP, which does not end well for him. Russian forces send another BMP on assault mission. The objective is to break through quickly. Ukrainian Mavic drone spots the movement and reports coordinates to Ally artillery forces, and a crab opens fire. The shell lands close, but Russian BMP keeps moving. Meanwhile, an FPV drone was deployed to strike Russian BMP. Drone strikes BMP, precisely causing an enormous detonation of the ammunition. Russian soldiers that were nearby were knocked off their feet by the shockwave, and the explosion could be seen miles away. This Russian self-propelled artillery was on the routine mission. It was shelling Ukrainian positions. After completing the mission, Russian soldiers tried to leave the dangerous area, but Ukrainian long-range FPV drones were waiting for them. Ukrainian drone operator locks on target and flies the drone directly in Russian artillery. Drone strikes the target and the crew quickly takes off, but they won't get far on this damaged system. Intelligence drone tracks the movement and guides an FPV drone. Precise strike on Russian artillery. Massive fire erupts from inside. The crew hoped to save their artillery system and kept driving. But their luck quickly runs out as the fire spreads and reaches engine compartment. In the end, the system was abandoned and was completely burnt to the ground. And here, 2 Russian air defense systems were spotted by a Ukrainian intelligence drone. The coordinates were immediately transferred to the HIMARS, and 2 missiles were fired. Meanwhile, Russian air defense locates the incoming threat and fires an interception missile. Russian air defense successfully shoots down the first missile, but the second one was already closing in on its target. Missile lands directly on the nearby system. Later, the position of the Tor air defense that managed to escape was located. Ukrainian forces deployed a Switchblade drone to strike the target. The first drone causes significant damage. Meanwhile, the second drone was already closing in on its target. Precise strike from the Switchblade sets Russian air defense on fire. The crew was just standing still and watching their system burn to the ground. Russian forces deployed 2 BMPs on another assault. They break through minefields and head straight to Ukrainian positions. Ukrainian bomber drone flies over Russian BMP and drops the explosive. Meanwhile, the second BMP moves in. Russian soldiers begin to panic and shoot in different directions. Meanwhile, Ukrainian drone drops the explosive on top of the turret. 2 Russian soldiers get wounded. Ukrainian FPV drones join the battle and finish off abandoned BMPs. Drone strikes the rear, setting a fire inside. Later, the fire intensifies, taking out Russian BMP. Meanwhile, 2 wounded soldiers run away from the drones. They decide to hide in abandoned BMP. But they didn't know one thing. Ukrainian Mavic was observing them the whole time, and when they got inside, an FPV drone was deployed. Drone strikes the thin armor, and as the result, a fire ignites inside, burning the BMP to the ground. Russian 2A-7 artillery was firing at Ukrainian positions. After completing the mission, the crew leaves the dangerous area, but Ukrainian intelligence drone was already tracking their movement. Russian soldiers hide their system in the tree line. Meanwhile, drone operator reports coordinates to the rocket forces, and HIMARS opens fire. Precise hit from HIMARS sets the ammunition on fire. In the nearby area, a similar system is located. HIMARS receives the coordinates and fires a second missile. Missile hits the target, precisely setting ammunition on fire. Russian forces sent their latest BMP on assault. The BMP managed to drive past minefields and get to the outskirts of Ukrainian town. But everything changes when FPV drones join the battle. Drone strikes the engine, immobilizing the vehicle. Russian soldiers quickly jump off and take cover. Meanwhile, a second drone was closing in on its target. Drone strikes Russian BMP, causing massive detonation. As the result, it was torn to pieces and left burning. Russian soldiers use an APC to deliver ammunition to the front line. But after hitting a mine, APC was abandoned. An FPV drone was sent to finish it off. Drone strikes the target, causing enormous detonation. As the result, Russian APC is completely vanished. This Russian air defense system was operating in Ukrainian fields. Radar located a Ukrainian UAV drone in the nearby area. The crew fires a missile to intercept the drone. The missile flies past Ukrainian drone. By firing, Russian soldiers compromised the location of this system. A long-range FPV drone was sent to strike the target. Drone strikes Russian air defense, causing massive detonation of the ammunition. A Russian self-propelled mortar was spotted. This system can fire up to 8 shells a minute with deadly precision. This is a very dangerous weapon. FPV drone is used to strike such valuable target. First drone strikes, causing massive damage. The second drone delivers the final blow. As the result, the ammunition detonates, leaving nothing but a bunch of burning metal. Here, a Russian artillery unit was operating. 152mm howitzer was used to shell Ukrainian positions. Ukrainian intelligence drone locates the position of Russian howitzer. After completing the mission, Russian soldiers camouflage their howitzer. Meanwhile, Ukrainian artillery receives the coordinates and opens fire. Shell lands directly on the position of Russian howitzer. In the nearby area, an identical system was spotted. Drone operator reports the coordinates to the HIMARS, and the missile is fired. Missile hits the target precisely. As the result, the ammunition starts burning, taking out another howitzer. In the nearby area, a Russian radar was also located. Russian forces deployed this system to identify the position of HIMARS. The crew thought that they were safe here and started the radar. Ukrainian intelligence drone was observing this area the whole time, and when the radar was active, the coordinates were reported to the HIMARS operator. 2 missiles were fired. The second missile lands close, causing significant damage. The crew tries to save their radar, but when fire reaches the engine, they abandon their vehicle and watch it burn to the ground. Intelligence drone spots an active artillery system. Russian soldiers set up a fortified position to strike Ukrainian forces. Ukrainian drone operators prepare a large FPV drone to strike the position of Russian artillery. Drone strikes the position precisely, setting the ammunition on fire. In the nearby area, an ammunition depot was located. Here, Russian forces store 152mm shells. Ukrainian artillery receives the coordinates of Russian depot and opens fire. The first shell hits the target, causing big detonation. Another shot is fired. The second shell strikes, setting the ammunition on fire. As the result, artillery shells and ATGM missiles begin to detonate and shoot in different directions.